and we'll leave it 8 o'clock. 2, I'm going to start at the back, okay, and work forward. 3, some of you who are not in my class, my review sheet is actually a little shorter than other teachers give you 1 extra page. So my review sheet starts with a big pack like that, okay? And finally, 4, if you're here to socialize, I suggest you go to Pete's, hang out, and do your work there. Okay? Or Starbucks, that's fine. But if you're here to ask me questions, then you need to keep your mouth shut and ask me questions. So having said that, I am going to the very back, which is section 16. That's where I am starting. So, section 16. Okay. Give me some numbers.
Number 4.
3, 4.
6. I can't say
3, 4, 6.
And that's about it. Yeah,
Alright, here we go. Got 1.
No, 6 point. You just, no. Okay, you can take the 1 out. Just take 2 out. 2. Don't keep them. Keep it. Just give me 3, 4, 5, 6.
3, 4, 7.
Okay, here's 1. Alright, number 1. We're given a limit that is delta x goes to 0 of 3 times x plus delta x raised to the 4th power minus 3x to the 4th, all that over delta x. Okay. Now, it looks like they're asking you to take a limit, and you can do it that way by using Pascal's triangle, expanding this binomial to the 4th power, which you're going to get a long one. And then remember, that's back in the day when we used to take the derivatives the long way. Okay? But what they really ask you to do here is they want you to find f prime of x. That's what that is. That's the definition of the derivative. You have to figure out, for those of you that do not remember what the formula is, that is delta x goes to 0, f of x plus delta x minus f of x all that over delta x. Okay, this is the same thing as that. Now, if you can figure out what your f of x is, it's going to make your life really, really easy. Try to match it up. Okay? Here, where is my f of x located in this?
Negative 3x.
It's not negative, because negative comes from there, right? So 3x to the 4th is the function f of x. Questions before I go any further? I'm just, okay, let me be the judge of that. F prime of x is 12x to the 3rd. Game's over. Done. Yes, sir.
So we have to write down the definition.
You do not have to write down the definition. I wrote that down to you.
Okay.
But you do have to do that. That's your work. Okay, that will show up on the AP test. It will look like they're asking you to take a limit. They're really not asking you to take a limit. They're actually asking you to take a derivative. Okay, 3. These are all the same. Okay, limit as h goes to 0, sine of 2, parentheses x plus h, parentheses minus sine of 2x, all that's going to be over h. Again, this is a definition of a derivative. If you can figure out what your f of x is, then you're home free. What's my f of x in all this mess right here? Sine of 2x. So we have to take the derivative of that. That means I have to use the chain rule. What's my outside function in this? Sine. So the derivative of that is a cosine. Leave the 2x alone. times the derivative of the inside, which is 2. That's it. Yes, sir.
On number 2, are there supposed to be parentheses around the 2?
Yeah, do you want me to do number 2?
No, I'm just asking.
It should be 3 parentheses 2 parentheses to the 4th. There's parentheses missing. Yes, Jess.
When it asks for find f prime of a, what is that?
What? Oh, okay. I guess I better do number 2. Let me do number 2, and I will describe that to you. Limit as delta x goes to 0. 3 times 2 plus delta x to the 4th minus 3 parentheses 2 to the 4th, all that over, okay, delta x. Now, this is also a definition of derivative, but because they put a value here, they're actually asking you to find f prime of value. Which value is that? F prime of 2. That's what they're asking you to find here. So before you can find out what f prime of 2 is, you need to know what f of x is. Okay? Alright. The f of x is 3x to the 4th. Does that make sense? Okay? Since f of x is 3x to the 4th, f prime of x would be 12x to the 3rd. That means f prime of 2 is going to be 12 times 2 to the 3rd, and which is 12 times 8. Okay?
So the a is just there's a number there?
That's a specific derivative for a specific value. Okay? 6, and what's 9, right? So that is 96. Michelle.
So you just added in because you're finding f to the 4. That's the, you know the thing that you said.
Okay, hang on, Michelle. I'll answer your question. That means just do that, right?
Yes.
That's what that means. We did that last 2 problems. But when you see something like this, it means do that.
Okay.
Why do you like any of this?
And then you plug that back into the x. And that's how you have it.
That's what that is.
Okay, I just want to get back. Thank you.
Okay. So number 4. Jesse, number 4 is like this also. X goes to pi thirds. Okay, I have a cosine of 2x plus 1/2, all that over x minus pi thirds. Okay, this is really, I'm not taking the limit here. You can, and you'll get the same answer, but it'll just take you longer to do that. They're really asking you to apply the alternative definition of a derivative. And for those of you that have forgotten, this is the alternative definition of a derivative. Limit as x goes to x sub 1, f of x minus f of x sub 1, all that over x minus x sub 1. That is the alternative definition. That means when these 2 things get closer together, this is same thing as a delta x going to 0. Okay, so this is a definition of a derivative. So if you match up this formula, can you tell me what f of x is in this particular problem? Cosine of 2x. Okay? This is telling you, okay, that they want you to take the derivative and evaluate it at, this is cosine of 2 times pi thirds. That's what that is. Okay, that's what that is right there. Okay, let me see. 2 pi thirds. That should be, yep. That should be, this is negative 1/2, right? Okay, and this negative sign changes that back into a positive 1/2. Okay, that's what they have there. Alright, so we know what the derivative is, and the derivative of this is f prime of x, which is a negative sine of 2x times 2. Any questions? They want you to find f prime of pi thirds. That's what they have right there. So f prime pi thirds is negative sine of 2 times pi thirds times 2, which is negative sine of 2 pi thirds times 2, which is, what is sine of 2 pi thirds? Rad 3 over 2. So that's negative rad 3 over 2 times 2, which is negative rad 3. So the answer to this is negative rad 3.
You like this one?
Gosh, you are now growling.
I like your style.
That means yes.
That means yes.
Wait,
I will tell you, one of these will be on the,
Okay, one.
I will make sure one of them will be on there.
You sure or what? I'm just kidding.
You tell me when you get to the section.
I just haven't got
No,
to
Heather.
everything else really hard.
Stop.
We took time out of our day to come here.
I know, thank you. They told me they're going to give me extra pay tonight, too.
Well, then we're both benefiting from this.
How am I benefiting?
You're building relationships with your class.
Making you look good with kids.
You know what? I should be eating curry right now.
You could have brought us curry.
Yeah.
You should have brought us curry.
I should be at a Indian restaurant eating my curry. That's what I want to do. Alright, here we go. Folks, this is also the alternative definition of a derivative. So having said that, what do you think f of x is in this problem? Okay. What do you then? This is the same thing as x to the negative 1, so what is f prime of x then? Negative 1, negative x to the negative 2, which is negative 1 over x squared. Okay? But what are all these 1's doing here? This means to take the derivative at where? 1. So f prime of 1 is negative 1 over 1 squared, which is negative 1. So this is negative 1. Alright? Okay, we're done with that section. So let's move on to section 15.